Once again, we're chatting with Ja Rule here on WXBR. One of the big story arcs to your career in the mid-2000s was the feud you had with 50 Cent. You were already an established rapper. He was on the rise. He had just signed with Shady Aftermath Records, Eminem and Dr. Dre's record label, and you guys had a very public feud. Now, almost a decade later, is that feud still in existence, or has it subsided?
Nah, that's in the past. We've both grown past that, and I can say that with confidence. That we're both in very different spaces and places in our lives, and that's something that we've definitely buried and put behind us.
So have you guys actually squashed the beef, or is it just one of those situations where I'll be me, you be you, and we won't get in each other's way?
Yeah, I think that's it's more or less that. You be you, I'll be me, and we're not gonna get in each other's way. And you get your money, I'm getting my money. You do your thing, I'm doing my thing, and good luck to you, good luck to you. That's just what it is.
We talked earlier on about how the transition you made from your first album to your second, third, and fourth album, that you couldn't quite rap about everything you rapped about on your first album the whole way because it wasn't your entire life anymore. When 50 Cent had that feud with you and he started to criticize you, did you respond by going with a harder sound and going with more harsh content, you think, or do you think that's just the public's perception?
No, I think, I made a album called Blood in My Eye, which was originally set out to be a mixtape, and Def Jam said, the hell with that, and made it an album. But, that's what we do as artists. Music for us is therapy. And for me to make that album and just get everything out of my system and what I wanted to say off my chest was very therapeutic for me. I needed that at that time, and that's what I gave to my fans. That's what I gave to the public, and that's how I felt at the time. Did I, know that my entire fan base wouldn't be as receptive to this album as previous albums? Of course I did. Did I care? Of course not. That's what artists do. It's kind of like, when people say, well, why did Kanye make this dark album now? Because that's what he was feeling creatively. That's what good artists do. We get in a mood, in a zone, and we go with what we feel creatively, and we create in hopes that people see our vision and get what we're going through at that moment. It's crazy because, everybody's not going to see your vision because everybody doesn't have vision. Everybody has eyes, but everybody doesn't have a vision. So sometimes people don't get what they don't see what you see. They're not getting what you're going through at the moment, and they don't understand it. And then sometimes people get it and they grasp it, and it's the biggest thing. It can go either way, with artistry and creativity. I know when I look at some Basquiat paintings, I don't get it sometimes. But I can enjoy the beauty of the art. I can enjoy the colors and enjoy the, what it looks like on the surface and kind of interpret it in my own way. But I may not understand fully what he was going through when he created it. And I think with music, people go through that same thing. They enjoy the music, but they may not understand the full message of what you're going through at that moment. And that's why, I really dig what Beyonce just did with her album, because I think that's what music is missing. Artists create projects to be listened to on a whole, as an album, as a masterpiece, as a piece, not in pieces. When I create albums, I don't create them so you can listen to 30 seconds of a record on iTunes and decipher if you like the record or not. I make the album as one whole piece so you can listen to it from front to back and understand what this whole piece is about, not just song to song or 30 seconds of a song and trying to decipher if you like it or not just by that. by listening to that little piece of a song. So, I'm all for music going back to that, going back to where we, sell a whole album to our fans versus single to single,
You mentioned some very interesting points, and I want to go back to those in just a few moments. But I want to talk about the 50 Cent beef just a little bit more. I'm sure you remember the details a lot more vividly than I do because you were part of it. Correct me if I'm wrong, but was there ever any insinuation on his part that the songs you were making were a little too soft and you were vying for more commercial appeal than street appeal? Is that something that is just inside my head that's not true, or is that, in fact, true? Did he say that?
I don't know. I really don't care. When you look at his body of work, what do you see?
Well, the reason why I was asking was because he released 21 Questions, which is probably the worst hip-hop love song of all time.
Well, that's in your opinion, you know what I mean? And probably mine too, but...
And that's not to discredit any of his other work. I'm just saying that particular song.
No, it's just, it's what people go through in life. You think life is one way until you really get into it deeply, and then you start to figure out, okay, it's not all one way. It's not all black and white. There's a lot of colors mixed in here that I need to explore, that I need to understand this part, and this part, and this part, whereas you only thought it was about this. And, I think as he got more into the industry, that was what he started to see, is what I already knew, that there's more to life, there's more to this